Hello everyone, and welcome to the Wonder Garden channel. This is where we always share tips on caring for orchids so they stay healthy and bloom beautifully. Many people love Phalaenopsis orchids for the elegant and sophisticated beauty of their flowers. But after each blooming cycle, the plants often start to wilt, lose roots, or develop stem rot. And at this point, many don't know how to help the plant recover and bloom again. That's why, in today's video, I will guide you on how to care for orchids after they have finished flowering, helping them quickly regain vigor, grow strong roots, and continue producing new, vibrant flower spikes even more beautiful than before. The special thing is, you only need a few simple ingredients readily available in your kitchen. No chemical fertilizers or growth stimulants are required. Now, let's get started. This orchid was discarded after it finished blooming. You can see that some of its leaves have wilted, and the roots are starting to show signs of weakening, no longer firm and glossy as before. At first glance, many people might think the plant has no chance of recovery, but I'm going to take this orchid home to treat it and revive it from the beginning. Let's follow along to see how its recovery process unfolds. First, to treat this orchid, I need to remove all of the old growing medium from the plant. This allows me to check the condition of its root system to see which roots are still healthy and which damaged ones need to be trimmed away. You can see that this orchid is being grown entirely in moss. Over time, during transport and care, the moss often becomes contaminated, retains moisture for too long, and causes the roots to become suffocated and oxygen deprived. Therefore, we need to remove all of the old moss and replace it with a cleaner, fresher growing medium. Only when the root system is cleaned and well aerated can the orchid begin its recovery process, regenerate new roots, and absorb nutrients in the most effective way. This is an essential step that helps the plant regain strength from within and prepares it for the next stage of growth. After removing all the old moss, I will carefully examine the plant's entire root system. Any roots that are rotten, dark brown, mushy, or broken need to be trimmed away immediately. Removing these damaged roots prevents bacteria from spreading and allows the remaining healthy roots to grow stronger. To ensure the plant's complete safety, after trimming away all the damaged roots, I will rinse the entire orchid thoroughly with clean water. This rinsing process helps remove all remaining dirt and bacteria from the roots and base of the plant, while also allowing us to clearly observe the condition of the roots after trimming. When the orchid is cleaned like this, its recovery will be faster, and the risk of infection after repotting will be minimized. After that, place the wilted orchid into a container and soak it in water for about 1 hour. This allows the plant to absorb moisture through its roots and leaves, especially when it is dehydrated or too dry. This step helps the orchid recover more quickly and reduces wilting. Next, to help the orchid recover, I will use cinnamon powder. Cinnamon has strong antibacterial and antifungal properties, which help prevent the growth of bacteria and mold, common threats to orchids. I will use 1 spoonful of cinnamon powder. Be careful not to use too much, because an overly concentrated amount can have the opposite effect on the plant. Next, I add 500 milliliters of boiling water to extract all the essential compounds from the cinnamon powder. When exposed to hot water, the active ingredients in the cinnamon are released, creating a natural disinfecting solution that is safe and highly effective for orchids during their recovery stage. Cover it and let it steep until the water has completely cooled. Next, I will prepare some breadcrumbs. If you don't have dried breadcrumbs available, you can also use pieces of regular bread like this and tear them into small bits for use. I will use 3 teaspoons of breadcrumbs. Mix it with 1 liter of water. Bread contains natural yeast and beneficial microorganisms. When soaked and fermented, these components help improve the growing medium, stimulate strong root development, and boost the orchid's resistance during its recovery stage. Cover it and let it sit until it cools down. After 2 hours, once the solution has completely cooled, I will stir it again to make sure all the nutrients are evenly dissolved in the water. Next, I will strain out the residue and keep only the pure cinnamon extract. Step 1. I use a soft cotton pad soaked in the cinnamon solution to gently wipe both the top and bottom surfaces of the orchid leaves. Cinnamon has strong antibacterial and antifungal properties, helping to remove bacteria, mold, and other impurities that could harm the plant. Wiping the leaves with the cinnamon solution not only helps remove potential pathogens, but also provides extra protection for the plant during its recovery stage, when its immunity is still weak. After wiping the leaves, I will now place the orchid's roots into a cup like this to continue the treatment and stimulate root growth in the next stage. Now, I will mix the cinnamon solution and the soaked breadcrumb solution together. By combining these 2 liquids, we create a mixture that is both naturally antibacterial and antifungal, while also rich in beneficial microorganisms. Next, I will soak the base of the orchid in this solution for about 20 minutes. This amount of time is sufficient for the cinnamon's active compounds and the beneficial microorganisms from the bread to gradually penetrate the plant's base, deeply disinfect wounds, stimulate tissue regeneration, and support the safe formation of new roots. After 20 minutes, I take the orchid out and repot it. At this stage, I will use a transparent plastic pot like this. The growing medium I choose is still pine bark, a common and very suitable material for orchids due to its excellent aeration and drainage properties. Next, place the orchid in the center of the pot, gently adjusting it so that the base of the plant just touches the pot's surface, without being buried too deep. Then, cover it with pine bark around the roots, gently pressing it into the gaps between the roots. This helps stabilize the plant, allowing it to stand upright without damaging the roots. You should work slowly, avoiding compacting the medium too tightly so the roots have enough space to grow and breathe properly. Note, you need to pay special attention to preparing the pine bark before planting. It can be scalded with boiling water to remove fungi and bacteria, or soaked in lime water for about 24 hours. To help the plant stand firmly and grow more stably, use a small iron rod or bamboo stick and place it close to the base of the orchid. Then, use a soft tie to gently secure the base of the plant to the support stick, taking care not to tie it too tightly to avoid damaging the stem or roots. This method helps the plant maintain an upright posture, preventing it from leaning or falling over while developing new roots and anchoring firmly into the growing medium. Finally, cover the surface of the pot with a thin layer of moss. This moss layer helps retain moisture in the growing medium, slows down rapid water evaporation, and creates a soft, airy environment for the young roots to develop. However, you should only apply a very thin layer, avoiding covering the entire pot opening, as this could suffocate the roots, limit oxygen, and increase the risk of rot. After repotting into the new growing medium, from this point onward, water the orchid with this mixed solution once a week. Regular watering will continuously provide the plant with beneficial microorganisms and essential nutrients, helping it recover and grow steadily. After watering, place the orchid pot in a spot with gentle sunlight and good air circulation, avoiding direct harsh sunlight. We will use the remaining liquid fertilizer solution to water other orchids in the garden. Both the cinnamon and breadcrumbs are natural ingredients that are very effective in stimulating plant growth and preparing them for the flowering process. Cinnamon water has antifungal and antibacterial properties, helping protect the plant from pathogens and keeping its roots and stem healthy. Meanwhile, breadcrumbs provide natural starch and sugar, which serve as a rich energy source to support new root growth, accelerate recovery, and boost the plant's vitality. These nutrients are especially important during the stage when the orchid is preparing to bloom, helping the plant accumulate enough energy to produce healthy buds and ensure the flowers open evenly and last longer. After watering, I gently take the pot out, let the excess water drain, and place the plant back in a cool, airy spot to continue its recovery and growth. Results after 2 months. The leaves of the plant have also shown noticeable changes. They are shinier, thicker, and more robust, no longer soft and weak as before. Especially new young leaves have begun to appear, growing vigorously, signaling the start of a new growth phase. As for the roots, you can see that the orchid has started producing new roots. The tips are fresh green, plump, and firmly attached to the growing medium, indicating that the plant is recovering very well and gradually regaining its vitality. These are orchids that I revived using the same method 6 months ago. You can see that now the plants are growing very healthily, with leaves that are shinier, thicker, and much more robust. The root systems have fully recovered, with new roots growing strong and white, tips green and fresh, firmly anchored in the growing medium. And what makes me happiest is that flower spikes have started to appear on the plants. From orchids that once seemed hopeless, they are now preparing to enter a new, vibrant flowering season. This is the clearest proof of the effectiveness of the natural, gentle, yet sustainable care method we have practiced together. Don't be quick to discard weak orchids, because with patient and proper care, they can recover strongly and reward you with the most vibrant blooms. Each flower that opens is not only a piece of nature's beauty, but also the result of the love and perseverance you have devoted to the plant. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share it with fellow orchid lovers, and subscribe to the Wonder Garden channel to continue joining me on future green journeys.